when it comes to squatting every day, nobody should be squatting every day that is not an experienced squatter. And you don't have to squat every day. This is my own. This is methodical. This is years and years of me coming to this conclusion of why I squat every day. And I've been doing it for 2 years. I've been squatting since I was 10 years old, and I took it serious when I was 10. I mean, so I'm 42. That's over 30 years that I've been squatting, and all my whole life I squatted throughout my life. And then that was like a main lift for me. I wasn't like a power lifter or anything. I was just a gym rat. And I did all kinds of things wrong in my teens and 20s, and I've done every which way you could do everything. I've done things so wrong at many times in my life. I've overtrained so much when I was doing a sport and also being a gym rat and trying to do both and just doing all kinds of stuff. That's what you do when you're in your 20s, man. Your teens or 20s, you do stupid stuff, right? But my experience with squatting, I've got enough of it. I know how to squat. At one time in my mid-20s, I was about like 260, 265 pounds, and I squatted 500 pounds. That was the most I ever squatted. And I never, like I said, I was a gym rat. I could squat, at that time, I could squat 405 on any given day. That was like, regular squat weight. And I just wanted to see, I've never squatted 500 pounds, and I just wanted to see if I could squat 500 pounds. And I squatted 500 pounds. So I only did it once. I was never a power lifter or anything. But when I turned 30, or when I was going to turn 40, before I turned 40, this all had to do with my maximizing testosterone. I perfected the diet. I perfected the lifestyle. I perfected the mindset. At least I knew what it took. I didn't. You're never gonna perfect it. You're always gonna be losing this. But I figured out what it took, and I figured out I get those things, and I try to perfect those things every day. Diet, lifestyle, and mindset. Every day my goal is to perfect those 3 things. That way my training can be at the top, because your training is only going to be as good as those things are. So you can't. Some people, they want to go straight to the training, and they want to make the training make up for poor diet, poor lifestyle, poor mindset. And that's okay for 20-something-year-olds that you can do just to look good or whatever. If you have decent genetics, that's fine. That's a different thing. That's a bodybuilding thing. We're talking about age reversing. We're talking about maximizing testosterone. That's a whole different thing. Naturally, not taking anything, no supplements, no none of this. We're talking about with food, lifestyle, and mindset. That way the training can be at its peak. For me, my own self, my conclusion was, when it comes to the tools that I can use, which are weights, my personal favorite tools to use, squats were superior as far as the movement that maximizes testosterone as a movement. Deadlifts to me are close, but deadlifts, you can't deadlift at that high of a percentage, 70 to 80%, which is what I concluded for me, that I can squat every single day. You can't deadlift, at least I can't deadlift safely in a 70 to 80% range every single day. I will need recovery. I will need days to recover. So that's what I concluded for me. I'm the lab rat. I'm the guinea pig. I'm the guinea pig in all this. So that's what I set out to do. So 70 to 80%. When I first started squatting every day. I started before I turned 40, and now I'm going on I'm over 2 years a little bit. So when I first started doing it, I started with 225, and that was like my high set. And everything I do before it, I had to figure out. You know, I basically now I've perfected it. It takes me a good hour. I have a whole sequence of stretches and basically a full workout that I do before I squat. Hour to an hour and a half. I do all my moga stretches. I do a bunch of toes to bars. Different types of toes to bars. I do pull-ups. I do chin-ups. I do dips. I do push-ups. I do walking lunges. I do thrusters. I do kettlebell swings. I do ropes. I do stair stepper. I do all the different I do ride a bike with my butt off the seat. I even walk on a treadmill. I do step ups on a step. I'm missing things here. I do all kinds of things. I do overhead pressing, light. Everything that I'm doing is methodical, and I'm focused on making myself feel good. I'm not bodybuilding when I'm doing these things. I'm not trying to pump. I'm not thinking that way. Everything is full range. My pull-ups and my chin-ups are dead hang. It's so dead hang, I count to 2. And I make sure I get 2, and I make sure that I'm focusing on stretching my lats. I'm engaging my core, my glutes. Even when I do pull-ups, my glutes, my hips, all the way down to my calves and my ankles and everything. My hands, my shoulders. I do a lot of rotator cuff stuff. I do stuff with cables, pull aparts, face pulls. I do all kinds of everything you can do that makes you feel good. I do before I squat. I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling limber. My shoulder, because squats, the bar, a lot of people, they can't. I can squat and I can get my hands into here. I can get my hands this close to my body when I squat every day, and it doesn't wreck my shoulders. That squat bar can wreck people's shoulders. That's why you see people that they can't even get their hands in anywhere. They have to have their hands on the plates because they don't have that range of motion. So this is all, I'm very methodical with this stuff, man. This is my obsession. My obsession is reversing my age. I do not just like go willy-nilly with any of this. I know what I'm doing. I'm in my 40s. I'm very agile, mobile, virile. Those are my 3 aisles, man. I tell myself that. As weird as that sounds, and all this sounds weird to some people, and I want it to sound weird to the average person. Someone in a Facebook was like laughing at me because they think that I'm like, this weirdo guy, right? That's what I want, because I want to get rid of those people. I want people who understand that how seriously I take this. My obsession is reversing my age. That's my obsession with life. Period. My own age. Not anybody else's age. My age is my obsession. That's what I obsess about. Reversing my age. It's Groundhog's Day every single day, and I'm open to learn. I said in that beach video, if anybody watched that long beach video, at the end of it, I'm talking about how the mindset, you have to be open-minded while you're also focused, and once you're dedicated to what you do, but you have to be open-minded to learn things, and everything that's going to benefit you, you soak it in, and you take it and you use it and you apply it. Sometimes you might have to change things. That's all part of a mindset. It's all part. You have to be open-minded. So I'm very open-minded to learning all the time. But whenever I have something dialed in and it's working, I'm on it. I'm focused on it. And so the whole squatting every day thing, I'm not just going in and just with everything, man. By the time I get to my squat, and I only squat between 275 and 300 pounds, that is my 70 to 80%. When I start getting over 300 pounds, I'm getting over 80%. And then I already dabbled with this. So when I first started, let me go backwards a little bit. When I first started, I started with 225 as my high set. And I could squat more than that, but for 70 to 80%, that wasn't quite 70, 80%, but that's how I wanted to just ease into it because I was doing it every day. So I just stayed there for a while. 225 is my high set every day, to where I felt like, okay, this is, I mean, I could jump through the roof with this thing. So I just started upping it 5 pounds to 230, added a 2.5 on there. And then, okay, that'll, you know, I just played that out as I felt every day afterwards. And I just kept upping it 5 pounds, 5 pounds, 5 pounds. And then I got to like 275. And I stayed there for a while. And I was like, okay, I got to do this every day. How do I feel every day? I'm not trying to, this is not bodybuilding. I'm not trying to, you know, make myself have to recover. So that also, what I do after my squat helps me to not need to recover, because what I'm doing after is my recovery. That makes me feel good. When I leave the gym, I feel amazing. I feel back, I feel limber, I feel agile, mobile, virile. So before I squat, I get myself agile, feeling as agile and mobile and virile as I can. I squat, which only takes 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. That's my focus. And then after, the things that I do make me feel good after that. And I do a lot of the same things. Like I'll do pull-ups, body weight before, and then after, I'd say a few days a week, I'll do weighted pull-ups after, or chin-ups or whatever, and dips after I squat. So before, it's body weight, and it's more focused on, it's more on stretch and just that type of, that's what I'm thinking. Engaging every part of my body, making sure everything's working right. And then after, when I'm already feeling good, I squatted. And then if I feel like, hey, you know what, today I'm gonna do weighted, I'll go do weighted. So I'll do before and after. And I already did sets before, so that, in a way, it warms me up for putting on weight. And I'm not trying to go for power. I'm not trying to do it. If I was, I wouldn't do all that to where I get to my heaviest, right? If I'm adding weight to if I'm going to do like weighted dips, I'm going to focus on weighted dips, right? I'm not going to just, so obviously it takes away from the weight I can use, which is fine. I'm not trying to get myself anywhere near being, putting myself in like dangerous positions. That's why I'm staying with 275 to 300. And there was a time when my ego, because I have an ego. So my ego was like, man, I want to get my 70 to 80%. I want to progress. I was like, hey, I want to squat 400 every day. That was like something I thought of, which is stupid. And for me, I'm 42, 190, you know, I like being 190. I like being closer to 190 pounds. I don't want to get over 200 pounds. I want to stay closer to 190. It was stupid. That was stupid. And so I was like, okay, how do I progress? How do I get over 300 to where I'm squatting over 300 every day? That was like kind of like a goal I was making for myself. So I started adding in higher, like instead of squatting from 275 to 300, I started adding 5 pounds and going over it. I even went up to 315. So I got myself up to where I was going to try to be 300 to 315. And as I got there, my body started telling me, hey, you know what? If you're going to do this, you're going to need to take days off and recover, which is fine. That's totally fine. That's what that's what you should be doing. But my goal is to squat every day, because I want to see. You don't need to squat every day, but this is what I do. Because one, for me, it's like, it's a discipline thing, because there's days I don't want to do it, and it's a discipline thing. So that's one thing. On the other hand, I firmly believe, for someone who doesn't take anything, who isn't doing steroids, who isn't doing, you know, if you're utilizing what nature gives us. And it shows by my testosterone. I believe that if you can use everything that you can use it. So these are my beliefs, and my testosterone at my age, it shows it, man. And also during this time, man, Like, and I just got my vitamin D just right now. I was getting my vitamin D from the sun. 50+% of your body, as much as possible, every day preferably, if you can, in the sun. Over 50% of your body. So if you're a guy, shirt off, all that. You shouldn't be long sleeves. That doesn't do anything with your hands and your face and you're covering up and your legs. That's better than nothing, but it's not, you're not maximizing. Hell, naked. If you can be naked. But, so, vitamin D goes up, testosterone goes up with it. If you're healthy enough to absorb this from the sun properly, the sun is what you want. It's about finding what is perfect in every situation and trying to attain it. Doesn't mean you always can. Some people, they don't even, there's no sun where they're at. You know, they're gonna have to do the next best thing. But ideally, if you're healthy enough to absorb the sun properly, and it's not gonna destroy you, because if you're not healthy, you shouldn't be in the sun. See, so like there's these things that get in the way, right? But if you're healthy enough to absorb the sun is where you want your vitamin D from. And you'll benefit. Your testosterone rises with your vitamin D. My vitamin D was 56. My testosterone was 619 and 39 years old. 619 is good for 39. My free testosterone was good. At that time is when I perfected all these things. I implement these things. There's a lot of pieces in the diet, in the mindset, in the lifestyle that I've figured out, and I started putting them into play from 39, right at that time. 41, my vitamin D goes up to 100. My testosterone goes up to 947. Through my 40s, taking nothing, not even taking like no herbal anything. This is diet, food, nature, what nature provides, lifestyle, changing the lifestyle. Some people need a complete overhaul in the lifestyle. Mindset, changing the mindset, and every day, man, having conversations. Like, it sounds weird. I have conversations with myself, like when I get up in the morning, when I go throughout the day, all the time. I was having them just a little while ago with myself, out loud conversations. I know it makes you a little bit, you know, you're close to someone that, you know, who crazy person in your city that walks around talking to himself. I know, I get that. You don't want to go that far, but it's good, and it's also good to journal things and write things. It's also good. In the vegan diet book, and I have in the back of it, there's space for journaling, for writing down things that I talk about inside that book. So the other one, the testosterone book I'm gonna do, is gonna have the same thing. That way you keep it all in one spot. Journaling and writing stuff down is so good, because you could, even if you could scribble something down and you can have it, and then you could put it away, and then let's say 2 months later you think you need that, and you can go back and you got it. So I'm big on that. And even if it's just a little doodle real fast, I'm telling you, it helps you out. So you also can compare. You can compare what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, because it's a journey. Like I said, it's a journey, and you're being open-minded to changing things up if you need to. Everyone's different. Everyone has a different life. Everyone has a different everything. Everyone has different genetics. Everyone has different abilities. That's why with the squatting everyday thing, man, when it comes to like athletic abilities and stuff like that, I'm above average with all that. I'm not trying to say I'm LeBron James. What I'm saying is I'm above average natural athletic person who takes to that. Someone who doesn't, I'm not, you know, squatting is an athletic movement. People just can't go, I've never squatted in my life, and now I'm going to go to squatting. No. You do not want to be squatting every day. No. You want to learn how to squat, though, because you want to apply the squat. It might take you 2 years to build up to where you can start thinking about squatting every day. It's not gonna really, squatting, in my opinion, is, when it comes to maximizing testosterone naturally for natural people, squats are the lift, the movement that is superior. There's other ones that are great too, and do them all. Deadlift safely to where you can still squat every day if you're going to be squatting every day at some point. But deadlifts can take you out. Deadlifts can make you need days to recover from everything if you're doing them at a high enough percentage of a max. The other things, pull-ups, overhead presses, thrusters, stuff like that, man. All that stuff is anything that's a body weight, full body movement, man, is going to be good. But as far as what the weight you can put on your body, squats are going to be superior, in my opinion. And to get, I don't want to go into that. I've already talked so long. Anyways, so the people, if anybody's watched, the people that want to know this, don't squat every day unless you are an experienced squatter and you've already developed something. Put it this way: if you can squat your own body weight, how much you weigh, like 10 reps, then you can start considering it. You still have to ease into it, and you still have to discover, figure out something close to a max without really maxing out. You don't want to be maxing out, but it's, ease into it. Don't, and that's, let's say you weigh 190 pounds. If you can squat 190 pounds 10 times and good squats, and you got good form, and you're not, the deep squat, you can pause with every rep, you feel like you could jump through the roof with it. All right, that's about the time when you can start doing that. If you can't squat the bar, you'll be safer squatting every day. You could do it, but still, I wouldn't recommend it, because you don't want to be progressing with it unless you know how to squat first. You know what I mean? It's gonna be safe to squat the bar every day, but I hope I'm making sense here. Anyways, I have to go. Have a great day.